Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Little Likac podcast, episode 58. I'm calling it episode 58 of the podcast because although I've recorded a couple of videos since episode 57 of the podcast, the other two were kind of more vlogs because we had the, my trip to Edinburgh and then my trip to Yarndale. Today it is a more traditional knitting podcast episode today. So yes, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my podcast and my YouTube channel. I live in Derby in the United Kingdom and I live here with my husband, our dog, and our daughters are both at university, so they are back and forth. And this is a knitting podcast with some crochet as well, but usually primarily knitting. Today I am going to be showing you some finished objects that I have completed in the last few weeks. I am going to talk about my plans for the next few months, and it is October the 8th, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, October the 8th. And I am already kind of thinking about what I want to get finished by the end of the year because I've got a few things on the needles, I've got a few things that I want to get finished, so I am now thinking about how I can target some of these items to get them finished by the end of December, and I'm already thinking about what I want to make next year. This year I didn't do a make 9, you know, that kind of list of projects that people sometimes do at the beginning of the year of things that they want to definitely make for the year. I didn't do one of those at the beginning of this year. I am already planning my make 9 for next year, and let me say at the moment it's got about 12 things on it, so I guess what the make 9 really should be would be the priorities out of those. Yeah. And maybe I'll get one of those cast on or started before the end of the year, who knows. So let's get on with it, shall we? Right, so the first couple of finished items I have got to show you, or finished objects to show you, are some socks. At the start of the year I was really trying to have a crack down on the number of whips I had, particularly whips that had been quite long standing. I had something like 16, maybe 18 whips at the start of the year, and some of those had been on my needles for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, maybe longer. So one of my targets this year had been to try and get rid or finish some of those projects, particularly the really old projects. And so I have finished this pair of socks. Now these are a really old project. I think if I remember right it's 2013, that's on my Ravelry page, which makes them 10 years old. Maybe it's 2015, I'll write down here what year it is. It's on my Ravelry page. I knitted one of these socks and they are made from Regia, Arne and Carlos. Arne and Carlos design, and I can remember when this yarn first came out. I was really into Arne and Carlos at the time anyway, and when this yarn came out on Ravelry, which is where all the yarn community hung out at the time because Instagram wasn't really a thing, and Ravelry was just like so excited, or lots of us on Ravelry were so excited about these designs coming, these Regia colourways coming. And I think it was one of the first times as well that I'd kind of used fake Fair Isle type. So I was like, I got it in my head that I would absolutely have to use the right pattern and the right needles for the Fair Isle effect to work. Not really necessarily true. So I downloaded a pattern from Regia, and for, I think it was a different self-striping or Fair Isle yarn. And I was like, that's the pattern I've got to use. And I thought, right, I'm going to follow that exactly, which I did, including the fact it had what they call, well, they call it a boomerang heel, which is actually the same as a German short row heel. And I did the full sock, and I really didn't like the heel. And I finished one sock, I can't remember which one it was that was finished first. I finished one sock, and then it just well, it got lost anyway, I think, behind the sofa. I think it had fallen down behind the sofa and perhaps gone underneath the back of the sofa. And then I found it, and then I, you know, couldn't find the pattern and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, procrastination Amanda at her best. I decided just to get on with it, and I decided with the second sock I wasn't going to worry about them being exactly matching because there's quite a long pattern repeat. and I didn't want to wind off loads and loads of yarn. Plus it was actually quite tricky to try and work out what, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to make them fraternal, as they say, rather than identical twins. And I actually think they look great. So I did a boomerang heel again, or a German short row heel again. Still didn't love it. I think my second attempt maybe is a bit neater. They do come across a little bit holy though. Holes there and stuff, and yeah, not loving it. And also, as I recall, well, I've worn socks before now with an afterthought heel. We'll see if I find these comfortable or not. I've not worn them yet. I think these might be the only socks I've done with the German short row heel. So I don't think I've actually worn a pair, but I didn't enjoy doing the German short row heel. Anyway, we shall see. So they are just a simple vanilla sock, really. 1x1 rib. I can't remember what size needles I did them on, probably 2.25, but again I probably did exactly what it said on the pattern because I was so paranoid that the colouring wasn't going to work out. And yeah, there will just be a comfy, hopefully general pair of socks, and if they don't sit on my heel very comfortably, then they'll probably just get used for around the house in the winter or something like that. I don't know, we'll see. But I'd still love the colourway and I love the pattern. If you're interested, I suspect you can't get it anymore. But the colourway was 3653, and as I say, it was an Arne and Carlos design. And I've got that much left, which will go into my basket of scraps that I've got of self-striping and self-patterning sock yarn, which I keep saying I'm going to do scrappy socks with or scrappy gloves with, and nothing happens. So that's my first finished object. Okay, my second finished object was also a pair of socks. Now these were not as old as a whip. These were cast on this year, so they were not a whip at the start of the year. I think I cast them on something like February, March time. They've got a really long leg. The reason why they've got such a long leg is because they were my car knitting project for a while. Which was a bit dumb really, to have a car knitting project that had two colours, because normally my car knitting projects are usually things that don't take up a lot of room, something that I can just bung into my handbag or whatever as I'm going out the car. So for a long time I had the striping yarn in my car and I didn't have the pink, and I was determined I was going to do the heel in pink as well to go. So anyway, so I just kept knitting and knitting and knitting, and then until I remembered to bring it into the house and put the heel on. So they've got toes as well. So the yarns that I used for this, West Yorkshire Spinner, West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply, and this self-striping one is, can never tell, they've just got numbers randomly. Let me just see if I can work out which number. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you all the numbers that are on here because I don't know which one is the colourway, which one is the... So I think the colourway is 0533. If it isn't, then the colourway is 999, and I don't think you'd make a colourway 999, would you? I don't know. Anyway, so the colourway is 0533, I think. And then the contrasting pink is also West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply, and the colourway is 0663 or 234. One of those will be the colourway, one will be the dye lot, and I'm not sure which. Obviously I've got loads of this left. This will go into, same as the this, into my leftover self-striping. But this, I've got enough easily to do a proper full sock. So especially actually if I did the full sock in this and then again used another colour for contrast heels, toes and cuffs. So that will go back into my sock, my full skeins of sock yarn really, I think, because it is nearly full. I probably only used about maybe 20 grams. So they're really nice, but really long, legs. I'm not quite sure. Well, I guess they'll be fine under jeans. They'll be good with boots. Yeah, they would be good with boots actually, wouldn't they? So These are made as identical twins rather than fraternal. You can see I wound off the yarn to start in the same place. So they're really nice actually, I like those a lot as well. So 2 pairs of socks finished. Last week I showed you my Funky Chunky Yarndale Cardi, which is another finished object that I've completed since the last proper podcast, and I talked about that last week and talked about the lovely lady. I didn't mention the name. Did I mention the name of the yarn shop? It was the Artful Buttoner anyway, which is in Kirkby in Nottinghamshire, which is near where I work. Right, so I also looked again at my list of these old whips, and I thought, what else can I get finished? And I had on this a pattern or project that I'd started about 2.5 years ago, or 2 years ago in July, as a Christmas in July project, and it was finishing using off cotton, some cotton that I've got, making these, which are like little face scrubbies. The only thing is, this cotton that I was using was so splitty. Look at it, really, really splitty. And for crochet, it was a nightmare. And I'd still got some of the cotton left, and in my head I couldn't say that project was finished till I'd used all that cotton. And so I started making some more, and then I was like, I am not enjoying making these, and the yarn keeps splitting, and why am I putting myself through this? So I think I've got about 12 done, and I said, right, that is it, project done, apart from the fact I need to sew in the ends. And yes, I've got a bit of cotton left, not a lot. I probably could throw it away, but I really find it so difficult to throw yarn away. But as I'm a yarn dyer as well, I thought, well, actually, why don't you use that cotton to tie the skeins when I'm dyeing? Because you use cotton when you're dyeing the skeins of yarn. Some people use like plastic ties. You need something to pull the yarn in and out of the water and everything. And using something like plastic or cotton, it doesn't pick up the dye. So I thought, right, I'm just going to put that cotton then in with my dyeing equipment, and I'll use it as string, basically, for tying up the yarn. So that's the plan with that. So I feel like it's not being wasted. It will get used, but these are done. I'm going to sew in the ends. Originally, the idea had been they were going to be a little gift for my girls, that I was going to pop them in their Christmas stockings. I'm not sure I'm going to bother with that because they're really rubbish. They don't even look very nice. I think I will just sew in the ends and use them myself. And it's another project done. That's another whip that was there at the start of the year. That was in my Ravelry project as a whip. That was kind of like, what I want to, maybe weighing me down a little bit, that I had some of these projects from a few years ago and I just wanted to clear them. So that was another, not the finest handiwork. I mean, they were never supposed to be beautiful pieces of artwork anyway, because the idea is they're just face scrubbies. But yeah, they are, the cotton just kept splitting, nightmare. So as far as I'm concerned, they are done. So then I thought, what else have I got on that list that I could actually finish this year, or I would like to finish this year? And I picked out another 2 pairs of socks that I would really like to finish this year. Now, this first pair I'm going to show you, I've actually started on these again. So let me show you. You're going to see firstly a nearly almost completed first sock. Now, how cool are these? I'm not sure, I may have shown you these at the start of the year. So obviously, well, I say obviously, if you are a Star Trek fan or live with a Star Trek fan, you may recognise that as the Star Trek symbol. And I knitted these. These were supposed to be a gift for my husband for his birthday a couple of years ago. So I was knitting them in secret. And the pattern said to use 2.5mm needles for the rib and 2.75 needles for the, which I think is a size 2 US, for the colour work. Now, I usually knit my husband's socks with 72 stitches on 2.25mm needles. So in my head, I said to myself, if it's 72 stitches and I'm using 2.5mm, that's still bigger than I usually use. I'm sure that will be fine. Can you tell what's going to come? So I did all of this colour work, and then I tried them on myself, and they were quite tight for me to get on my foot. And I still carried on, and I carried on, and I got to the toe, and I think I got to almost grafting the toe, and I thought, I'm just going to have to ask my husband to try them on. And he couldn't get it on over his heel. Just not quite. He tried, but he couldn't. So the birthday surprise element had gone. They didn't fit. I think I really was literally getting ready to kitchen and anyway, so they've then sat in a bag for 2 years. Now hopefully he's forgotten about them. I have started again. Now I've not frogged this one yet, because what I want to do is, I've started again. I've got the rib done on 2.5mm needles. I've got my 2.75 ready in the bag. But what I want to do is get so much of it done and actually compare and make sure that this is actually coming up bigger. If it isn't on the 2.75, then I'm lying and I used 2.75 that time, but I think I did. Of course I didn't make a blooming note. I've made a note on my Ravelry page that I need to use bigger needles, but I didn't make a note of what size needles I'd used. Sometimes I'm just so daft. So I'm pretty sure though that was my thinking in my head, was that I normally knit for him on 2.25, so 2.5 would be big enough, and it wasn't, so I'm going to try it on 2.75. But as I say, I'm hoping he's completely forgotten about them. Don't think they'll be ready for his birthday this year, which is at the end of October, but maybe for Christmas. Now the wool I'm using, can you see it's glittery? It's very glittery, which is just perfect. And it is from Wool and the Gang, and it's called Night Fever Navy. I have a feeling I got this off of eBay. I think it might, oh no, it is a full 100 grams, that's cool. And it's glitterball sock yarn, and it is really, really glittery. It's a little bit scratchy. Hopefully it'll be fine for him for socks. So that's it says navy, but it's such a dark navy. It looks black to me. Yeah, and as I say, I think I got that off of eBay. Somebody's de-stash. And then the yellow that I'm using is just a Signet Truly Wool Rich, which is, I am now just checking, yeah, 75% wash, 75% wool, 25% polyamide, so it's fine for sock yarn. And the shade of this is 2041 yellow. It is a little bit thinner maybe than the Wool and the Gang, but only very slightly. So I would like to have this pair. I will have to frog that one completely, which is a bit sad, but I would like to have this pair done for Christmas for my husband. So they are a project that was a long-standing whip from a couple of years ago, not as old as the Arm & Carlos, and it'll be good to get those finished and off the needles by Christmas. Ideally, if I'm really honest, I'd like to have those done by some point in November, because I have another pair of quite complicated socks that I would like to finish before the end of the year as well. So my knitting chickens bag, which hasn't been shown for a couple of years, because I'm trying to see if I can see this one. I think it's probably an Amelia X Joy bag, but I can't see her label on there anywhere. But look at that, knitting chickens, which is perfect for me because I am a knitter and I have chickens. So that's going to get some work on it. I'm also knitting something at the moment that I can't show you, which is the Enchanted Delight shawl pattern. That's the pattern designed by Penny Baker Knits, which is in my advent calendar this year for Little Likac. So I'm currently knitting the sample of that ready to photograph. So I can't show that, but that is taking up probably 75% of my knitting time at the moment. I'm trying to do a colour a day like you would if you had if you were opening it each day for Advent, so I'm trying to do a colour a day. Talking of Advents, the boxes with all of the colourways are all piled up here. I boxed up the international orders this weekend, which is really exciting because it's the first year that I'd actually offered international shipping on the Advents. So they are going to the post office at the beginning of this week. That's exciting. And then the UK orders will be packaged this week as well. Maybe some UK orders might go out this week as well. So yes, that's quite exciting. I'm just keep looking up here because I've got piles of the boxes. So I've got 24 boxes, and in each box is each day's colourway. So there's, you know, a box for day 1, a box for day 2, etc. So when I'm packing the Advents, I just go and get one from each box and pack them up. Anyway, that's enough about those. So I can't show you that. You won't see that until after Christmas, because obviously all of the colours won't be shown until everyone's opened them, which go up to the 24th of December. Right, so so let me shall I show you the socks that I am planning on? Yeah, I'll show you the other pair of socks that I would like to get finished this year, which are a long-standing whip. Now, these are halfway done. These are complex because they've got quite a complicated pattern and they've got beads in them. Now, the sock yarn that I'm using is Knitology, which was from oh gosh, Knit Crate. It even says it on there. Knitology Super Sock by Knit Crate. So Knit Crate was a subscription box that I used to get from America during the pandemic. I got it for about 6 months, I think. So 75% superwash merino way, 25% nylon. The colourway is Gibbous Moon, which is a beautiful bluey grey. And the pattern, I can't pronounce the pattern name. It was a mystery sock along from November. Now I want to say 2021, possibly 2020. And it's quite a complicated pattern, and it's a mystery knit along, so you only got one section released at a time, and it has beads on it, and it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now the heel was an unusual construction as well. It's a different kind of heel to what I've done previously, and I think this is the problem. I can't remember exactly where I got up to with the heel. So I think what I'm going to have to do is start the second sock. So I think I'll have to wind off a load of yarn, wind it to about halfway, and then cast on the second sock, do the second full of the second sock, then hopefully I'll be able to work out where I got up to on this lovely heel. And I just think that was going to be easier. I think I'd stop putting beads on at this point. Yeah, you don't put beads on the foot, you just put beads on the leg. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I think what I did was threaded the beads onto the yarn first. I'm fairly sure that's what I did. So yes, that is, oh, it is really lovely. So that is another whip that I would like to have completed by the end of the year. So pretty. This is in this bag, which is made by Duckpool Lane. I think I've got a little badge on here as well, a little sheepy badge. I've got the beads still in here, yep. So I've got plenty of beads. So I just need to finish off the Star Trek socks, and then I'd like to get these done. Maybe if I can start those in the middle of November, we'll start the second one in the middle of November, I can get those finished by the end of the year as well. So that is another project that I would like to do before the end of the year, which is only about, what have we got, about 10, 11 weeks to the end of the year. So when you think of it like that, it's not very long, is it? Okay, what else have I got to show you? Couple of new cast-ons. Now these should be relatively quick. One is a baby cast-on, baby cardigan, and one is for my great niece who is 3, but she's quite small, so the size I'm making is age 2 to 3. So let me show you the baby cardigan first. So the baby cardigan is for my neighbour's daughter, so it would be my neighbour's granddaughter in fact. She's having a little boy. She's due soon actually, but I said to my neighbour this would not be ready for him as a newborn, so I'm doing the size 3 to 6 months. My neighbour, she and her daughter absolutely adore the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Love the Very Hungry Caterpillar. So when I found that out, I found this really cute little cardigan pattern where it includes the Very Hungry Caterpillar on the side of the cardigan. Now you can knit it intarsia, but intarsia is a pain, especially on a small garment with lots of colours. So the other option is that you can knit the caterpillar separately and sew it on, which is what I'm going to go with, I think. Well, I am. So this is also just using stash. Just went and looked to see what I'd got in my, and I'm just using cheap acrylic because again, want something that the mum can throw in the washing machine, potentially throw in the tumble dryer. So I've done that much so far. It's knitted in one piece to begin with till you get to the armhole, so it's knitted flat fronts and back until you get to the armholes. So I'm using, for the sort of creamy colour, First Choice double knit, which I think is from somewhere like Home Bargains, somewhere like that. Shade 34. It's not white, but it's not really cream. It's something kind of like a slight off-white. And then you needed 3 different coloured greens. So I went to see what I'd got, and I've got Stylecraft Special DK Sage. So you needed 1 light, 1 medium, 1 dark. I've got that one. I've also got Lime in Stylecraft Special DK. And then I think this will be the 3rd one that I use, which is Aspen. Yeah, so those are going to be the 3 that I use. It says 1 dark, 1 medium, 1 light. I don't know, they're just 3 different shades of green. And the stripes are made from this, and also the caterpillar is made from this. So the stripes, sorry, the sleeves are striped in the different colour green. And then also you need a red as well. So this is shade Lipstick, again Stylecraft Special DK. I did put this in as well as a possibility, but see, that makes that one look quite blue then. So yeah, maybe I'll go with these 3, dark, medium, light. I might go for those 3 green. Anyway, not 100% certain yet. Oh, and then you need some yellow just for like around the eyes of the caterpillar. So that's quite nasty, plasticky, like probably like toy acrylic used for toys or something like that. But literally, it's just a bit of embroidery. So they're all sort of stuffed into this bag. I don't know why I'm telling you all my bags there. I think partly because I've got some, I had a bit of a sort out and got out lots of bags that I haven't used for a while. I can't see the maker's name on this bag, which is a shame. It's really pretty. So I need to stuff all of these back in here. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that one out. I don't think that's quite right, and use those instead. I can't, so the red is for the head of the caterpillar, yeah, but I might put a bit of the ribbing in the red as well, I'm not sure yet. So the pattern for this is a paid for pattern that I got on Ravelry, and it actually has quite a lot of different ideas on, and it also includes a pattern for a hat, a pattern for little booties to go with it as well if you wanted, and it gives you lots of ideas on how you can customise or change the actual caterpillar design bit for it as well. So that is going to be worked on over the next month or so. I'm hoping it'll be a fairly quick knit to knit the actual cardigan, and then it's going to be a bit fiddly. Oh, so it's got the caterpillar, and also you've got a leaf as well for the pocket, little pocket in the shape of a leaf. So I'd like to get that done. See, I'm off for 2 weeks in October, so yeah, maybe that might get done actually before he's born. He's due at the end of October. Depends if he comes early, no chance, but if he comes on time, or even if he's a week or two late, that might actually be done. Okay, what else? So I've also cast on the teddy bear dress. Now I mentioned this last week because I bought the yarn in Yarndale. When I say I've cast it on, all I have done is cast on and done a few rows of ribbing, and I've done this on straight needles because I don't seem to have very many pairs of circulars in 3.25mm. So I've just started these on straight needles for now anyway. So you can see I've started the ribbing. This is in the Ski Peas Soft Fun Denim, and this is colourway 508, which I looked up and I think it was something like mocha or latte or something like that. So what I'm doing with this is I'm actually knitting this pinafore dress, which I've knitted before, but I'm not putting the frills on. So I'm going to knit this dress. You see the back of it there. I am going to put at least one pocket, maybe 2 pockets, but I'm going to put a pocket on the dress as well. And then I'm going to just do a very simple embroidery of a teddy bear face here. And then where the buttons are, I'm going to attempt, because I've seen this on Etsy where somebody has done a romper suit in this style, but I think it was only in baby sizes. So I'm going to try and make some sort of like little ears that will go here and here above the teddy bear face. So it's going to be, what's the word I want? A little bit of creativity, shall we say? I don't know. So this pattern is 9504 from Stylecraft, and then I've knitted this before for a baby, so I think I did it in like 0 to 3 months, and it's quite a straightforward pattern. I made it a bit more complicated for myself because I did it in 2 colours. So it should, again, but this is going to be in age, I'm doing the size 2 to 3, which is a 22-inch chest. So that's a Christmas present, so it needs to be done for, well, I've got to post it down as well, so it needs to be done by the middle of December so I can post it as well, but it's cute and I should be able to get that done as well. So those are the things that I am aiming to get done before Christmas or before the end of the year. I have got one more thing as well, which is knitted in Chunky, and Chunky does knit up quickly, and it's this that I want to knit the vest, but without, I'll just put the short neckline. I don't want a neckline all the way up here, it'll just be a shorter neckline. So I'm doing this vest top, and I bought this pattern and this yarn on a yarn crawl that I did in June, and so the yarn is Shetland Tweed Chunky, and it's Woolcraft. My Funky Chunky Yarndale Cardi was Woolcraft as well. So it is 77% acrylic, 20% wool, 3% viscose. It's quite soft and it's a lovely colour, sort of a lavender blue colour. And I would really like, because I think that I might be able to wear that in my classroom on colder days. And I think it should be relatively quick. Obviously it's got quite complex cable on it, but it'll be one, I say quite complex, it'll be one of those, once you've done a couple of repeats, it should be relatively straightforward. And I think it'll knit up quite quickly. That's the hope anyway. So I would like to do that, but that won't get cast on until I've at least done the Enchanted Wrap cardigan, the Enchanted Delight Wrap. So yeah, we will see. There's quite a few things there that I would like to get done by the end of the year. But, you know, some of it, obviously, some of it's for other people. So I suppose in that respect, the Enchanted Delight is first priority, the caterpillar cardigan, the teddy bear dress, those are priorities, and then the Star Trek socks. So those are 4 things that really have got deadlines for other people. The the mystery socks then, and the chunky sleeves are just kind of a bonus. Oh, and I know what else I was going to talk to you about this podcast. When I went to Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago, or about 6 weeks ago now, when I did the vlog from that, I started trying to show you the yarn that I had bought, but I was outside and I couldn't really show you very easily, so I was going to go through that. So I will do that. I am aware that the last few podcasts I've just been going, and I bought this, and I bought this, and I bought this. And yeah, that's going to be it now, purchases wise, for quite a while, I think. So let me show you properly what I got. So I showed you this picture before of this beautiful set of a hat, tam, cowl and mittens I really want to make. That is currently on my Make 9 list, or my Make 12 list for next year. And I got the wool from this shop, Kathy's Knits, and it's the original pattern colours uses Mary Wallin colours, but what I bought in Kathy's Knits was Jameson and Smith, and I sort of swapped around the colours. So we have, I'm going to show you all these colours, and they're just beautiful. So we have shade 121, and that's instead of the Mary Wallin quince. So I've even written on the ball band what's it instead of, so that when I'm following the pattern I know. So that is 121, and it's kind of a greeny yellow. Then we have FC34, which instead of the Mary Wallin woad. Then we have 29, and this instead of the Mary Wallin dark apple. This is 72, shade 72, and this is instead of Mary Wallin's foxglove. And it's really hard to explain. It's like a dark corally pink, that one. Then we have FC55, which is instead of Mary Wallin's rose, and that's a really dark pink. And then we have FC56, which is instead of Mary Wallin's mulberry. Now there are different quantities of these. I think that is all of it. Oh no, there's this one is FC24, and it's instead of Mary Wallin's lime flower. So as I say, there's a few of these you need 2 or 3 of. Let me see if I can hold them together. Absolutely beautiful colours. It's going to make a really lovely set, I think. The hat. Ooh. The hat, wrist warmers, gloves, and cowl. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the other shop that I went to was Ginger Twist Studio, and I showed you that I had bought the first time I went into the shop. She's moving premises, by the way, into a much bigger premises in the same area. I think it's just across the road, but much bigger. It's really exciting for us. So I'd shown you that I bought these 3 colours, and I said that I wanted to go back and get something more neutral. Now they didn't have cream, but I still thought that made quite a good contrast. And this wool is 100% Shetland wool, and so I've got it's, what's it called, Easter Easter Ooh, something like that. Yeah, so they've been on Easter, which I think is a Scottish island. And so the colourways I've got here is Shumaya, Naught Blue Geo, Frode, and Scatness. So again, I think my plan with this had been to do maybe kind of a hat or a cowl with it. And then when I went back on the second day, she had put this out. It wasn't there the first day. And this is Lallybroch. It's her Sweet Flax 4-ply, 50% baby alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk. So I bought that as well. No idea what I'm going to do with that. Oh, and don't know if I showed you these before, but these really cute needle protectors. So those are my purchases from Edinburgh from about 5 or 6 weeks ago that I didn't get to show you properly. So yeah, there will be no more yarn purchases for quite a while, I think. Definitely got more than enough to knit with. To be fair, this year, yes, I've bought a lot of yarn, but they've all got really nice memories associated with them. So this, you know, has the day out that I did with friends, and I bought this from a new knitting shop that I've not been to before. And obviously the yarn I've just shown you is from Edinburgh. That's got a lovely weekend away. All the Yarndale purchases, I had such a good fun time at Yarndale. So I think this year I've not bought yarn in, I don't think there's been any day where I've kind of gone, I'm bored, I'm going yarn shopping. They've all got nice memories, or I've bought something for a specific project and I've needed to get something specific. So yeah, I think I've been pretty good in that respect. I've not just gone, she says, no, I'm thinking about that Aran. Was that this year I bought that Aran? I don't know. So anyway, the purchases over the last 6 months have definitely been like that. So, and anyway, I shouldn't have to justify buying yarn, should I? If I want to buy it, I've got the money. If I've saved the money for it, I'm not going to say I've got the money because I'm rich. I'm not. But I've saved the money for it, or I've tried to buy things that are reduced, or yeah. So, and I bought quite a lot of things from nice little independent shops, which is also nice to support them. So yeah. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. Oh, hang on. What else? Yes, there was something else I was going to say. So I showed you last week, I bought some DK from Yarndale, and I had got 3 skeins, 300-gram skeins of DK. 2 were in one colourway and 1 was in a different colourway, but I said I thought they could blend together. And I think it was Ruth, it must have been Ruth. Ruth said to me, there's plenty of 3 skein shawls for DK weight. And I was like, ah, that's a good idea. So actually, any recommendations on that? Any recommendations for DK weight shawls? Please pop them below. I know I could do a Ravelry search, and I probably will do a Ravelry search, but it'd be lovely if you had an idea, maybe something you've seen, something you've knitted, you know, just pop them below. And then I can have a think about that, and you never know, it might get added onto my Make 9. You guys were really helpful when I was looking for a single skein crochet shawl, and you did help me find something that was really pretty for that. So yes, any ideas? Not things that need contrasting colours, and it could be actually something that needs just one colour, but I'll make this because I've only got 2 colours. I've got 2 skeins of one colourway, 1 skein of another. I should have brought them down to show you. And they're quite similar colours, so I'm not looking for something that needs 3 different colours. It needs to be potentially something that's in the same colour, and I'll just make it fade or something like that. Anyway, let me know what you think. Maybe I'll show you the actual skeins again, or put a picture of them on here. I'll do that. I'll put a picture here. You can see the 3 skeins. You can see what I mean. There's one that is different to the other 2, but they've got kind of complementary colours. So any ideas for that, let me know, and I'm going to stop rambling. And it has been lovely to talk to you all, and thank you, by the way, for all the comments and messages and things like that that you put on the last videos. I really, really appreciate it. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.